So Season 1 of XDefiant kicks off in less than 24 hours, and today we got a deep dive of what you should expect for the upcoming content, and in this video we're going to be breaking down all you need to know from the XDebrief for Season 1 of XDefiant. As we go along, drop your thoughts down below. Looking forward to Season 1. Anything in particular stand out to you? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts. But if you enjoyed the video, you found it adult insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, perhaps you're part of that 75% of viewers not subscribed, make sure you subscribe for more XDefiant and other FPS coverage here on the channel. I would love to have you in the community. But for now, let's get into it. So first things first, let's take a look at our deep dive of the new faction GSK. GSK is the elite operators from Rainbow Six based off of GSG 9 with the abilities of Shockwire and the ADS. Now the Shockwire is going to be a razor wire with a shock effect to slow down and damage enemies coming through certain routes. Kind of the ability to cut off certain lanes of a map, which will be definitely beneficial for certain types of gameplay engagements. This can be something that's destroyed by meleeing it, so that'll be something that, while it is annoying to run through, you can hopefully take it out pretty easily. Then you have the ADS, which is the active defense system, probably what I'll be using when I play GSK the most. This is a trophy system that can be placed just about anywhere in the map, which it seems like it's recommended on ceilings or hidden amongst debris or map set pieces, so it's not just out in the open. Now, the difference between this and say like a trophy system in Call of Duty is that it doesn't block a specific number of grenades or projectiles incoming and then it breaks down and is done, but instead it's active for a certain amount of time, which appears to be 25 seconds, and that has a cooldown of another 25 seconds before you can use it again. Now, the interesting part with this is that it can also be hijacked by DedSec, so there is why you can destroy it with your weapon, also a way to have countermeasures and take advantage of that for your team rather than the GSK operator on the enemy team. Now, as for the ultimate, it is the Flash Shield, which is another shield defense operator, but you get the 93R alongside that, and the shield also can flash and blind enemies for a certain period of time, as the name suggests. So it's a good objective-focused ultimate, but you also should be careful because your shins and feet are still vulnerable while using it, and while you end up using that 93R, it seems like you'll be vulnerable as well. Now, the passive, that's the interesting one here because the headshot modifier is basically removed with GSK. GSK operatives within this XDefiant and Siege universe that's shared wear heavy armor helmets, which doesn't adjust any of the base health like Phantoms would, where you have 120 HP, but instead it just reduces the amount of incoming damage to the head only. That's the only location this passive is active on. You'll still end up having the exact same damage profile as any other player to the chest, arm, leg, and so on. Again, if they're not Phantoms, that is. It's just that headshot that's different, so it'll be an odd one on paper looking at it because for some players that maybe aren't as accurate or aren't aiming for headshots constantly for that fastest TTK, you're honestly probably not going to notice it all that much. If you're just aiming center mass, it's not going to be any hindrance to your gunfight. So that's an interesting one here that, again, on paper, it just seems kind of odd. It's beneficial, but maybe not to everybody. Next, we got a map preview of our map Clubhouse. This is coming day one. Rockefeller and Daytona are coming later on in the season, so probably think a good estimate of 1 to 2 months from now for both of those respectively. Clubhouse is a GSK-inspired map from Siege, and actually, those who play Siege, this may be familiar to you. You may have that upper hand in some capacity, knowing a bit of the intricacies of the map and how it will play. But just remember, even though you do have a Siege map with a Siege faction, you still can't do things like blow holes in walls and doors, unfortunately. But overall, the map looks to be a solid variety of gunplay options, but mainly close and medium range. So you'll end up finding success with those new weapons like the LVOAC, sawed-off shotgun, and among the existing ones currently out there. Beyond that, we of course do have those new weapons of the LVOAC, L115, and the sawed-off shotgun. That LVOAC is a new rifle with some benefits that offer better handling, a faster fire rate, and the fastest TTK to the bodies in the AR category, but you end up having less range and more recoil. So it's basically a more closer quarters version of the M4A1 in the game currently. The L115 is a new sniper described as the new middle ground sniper in XDefiant, where you have the M44, which is quick and snappy, but it's not something that has a great damage profile. The only one-shot potential you have to that is the neck and head. The TAC-50 on the opposite side of the coin is a heavy and slow weapon, where you end up having that prioritization of one-shot kills, but it's a slower weapon to use. The L115 slots right in between there, where it's not slow and it's not fast, but it offers more one-shot kill potential to the chest and up rather than all around the body, and again, offering a little more speed in that regard. So looking forward to using that one for sure. The sawed-off shotgun is a new secondary weapon coming to Season 1, where it's a lethal kill up close, but you do have a couple of cons, where number one, it's a shorter range than the other shotguns, and two, it is the slowest secondary. Because the secondaries previously were just pistols, you have the fastest mobility with those, but this is now kind of mid-ground between pistol and an SMG in terms of that mobility speed. So that's something to consider, but a new weapon no less coming along in that secondary category. And then rounding out the weaponry category, we did learn about the new mastery camos here officially coming. Titanium Violet at level 300, Titanium Azure at 350, and Titanium Prisma at level 400, which that one actually changes colors, they say. So that I'm really looking forward to grinding out and using. Personally, I think they all look pretty sick. And actually, by the way, if you want, you can actually get the free Punch AK weapon skin from now until July 3rd. So a very, very limited time offer here for this. So make sure you end up redeeming that where you can at redeem.ubisoft/XDefiant. Now, beyond that, we got some deep dives on new modes. We have Capture the Flag coming. That is, of course, just your basic Capture the Flag. It's pretty self-explanatory. You end up trying to capturing the enemy team's flag and returning it to your base. That one will be a fun one to play, I think, with a squad. And it was mentioned in their Q&A portion that Bomb would be coming at a later season, but then they interrupted the transmission of that and said, hey, it's actually coming in Season 1. So while it's not going to be coming at launch, it is something that will be there shortly thereafter, sometime in season. So you have that one life mode, which it does look pretty fun based off the gameplay footage they showcased. Finally, in the modes category, they talked a lot about ranked play, where you end up having the ranks of bronze, silver, gold, ruby, emerald, diamond, and legends. You have 10 levels per rank up until legends, and then that's basically like you're just sort of iridescent in Call of Duty right now, where there's nothing you can progress further unless you're trying to chase down that top 500 leaderboard. But you have 10 levels per rank. You can full squad possible up until, I think it was diamond, and then it goes into a max of duo queue. So you can queue up with 4 people, but then once you reach a certain rank, it can only end up taking 2 parties at a time. Ranked play is based off of RP, ranked points, and that's based on player performance as well as win and loss. So if you're a winner and you're the best performer, you'll end up getting the most RP, but if you lose and did the best, you'll lose the least. Factors are determined like objective play, kills, all kinds of different stuff that goes into it. It's not just simply who has the most kills and least deaths. New seasons are available at the start of each season, which there's going to be a ranked practice for 7 days, which is basically like ranks aren't active, but all the modes, rules, and all that kind of stuff is. It's a bit of a warm-up period for each season. Though it was just announced actually as of editing this video that they're not going to do that for Season 1. They said preseason, that was enough time to warm up. Let's jump right into it. So that is for at least Season 1 starting on Wednesday. So you're going to have a 24-hour delay from the season launch to when ranked launches. And with each season, you're apparently going to be resetting back down to silver, bronze staying in bronze. So that's something that you're going to have to grind out every single season, it seems like, and there will be special rewards throughout the seasons. One thing that I think is really cool and I like about this is that unlike, say, Modern Warfare 3 and Warzone ranked right now, all rewards are retroactive within XDefiant. So when you reach a rank, that gear is yours, even if you finish higher or lower than that rank at the end of the season. So if you finish at that highest rank in theory, you end up getting all of the subsidiary rewards along the way, which is definitely awesome. Beyond that, we learned a little bit about the Battle Pass. We got a new trailer that detailed the new 90 tiers, new rewards, new skins, operator stuff, all that kind of stuff that is, again, just going to be the season-long stuff that you can buy into or play for free. You don't need to end up buying the Battle Pass. You get some stuff along the way for free, like those new weapons. But one of the ones that actually did stand out to me was the ACR Super Soaker looking one, which that was a pretty funny blueprint to me. But all of that, for the most part, is that deep dive on what Season 1 looks to bring. Honestly, I found a lot of it insightful, and while with most things like game reveals where they say, hey, here's the new content, we're going to take a look at it a little further, it's kind of just recap at this point. I kind of like this where it seemed like we did already know some top level stuff, but they did provide solid context and insight even further into what's coming tomorrow. So definitely like that. The only other thing that was announced here that wasn't actually mentioned ever before was the launch of the support a creator system that will be active as of tomorrow, to which I believe I'm a part of that upcoming. I was contacted, but I haven't quite heard fully yet. So, hey, if you see my name on that list for the support of creators, I'd love to have your support, and I'd happily get back into shouting out some legends that tweet me their code usage, like when COD had the creator codes. But honestly, here's the thing. Do not ever feel obligated to. It's a way to help support the channel a little further, as it gives me a small, probably like 5% revenue share, as is standard with a lot of creator code systems, of the purchase price. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it just means that of what you pay for a skin or something like that, or a battle pass, not not all 100% goes to Ubisoft. Like 5% would go to supporting the channel here. So if you'd like to support the channel, if that option is there and that drop-down menu come tomorrow, of course, I'd love to have your support, but again, by no means should you ever feel obligated to. The prices of the shop are high, fully recognize that. I don't ever want to push that on you guys. It's entirely optional. But beyond that, that is Season 1 in a nutshell. So we'll have the full patch notes and update breakdown on a technical standpoint for gameplay changes and everything later tomorrow, followed by a ton of Season 1 content. But for now, that is what we're going to call it. A sort of deep dive with the XDebrief for Season 1. Let me know your thoughts down below. What do you guys think here of this? You guys looking forward to Season 1? Is there anything in particular that stood out to you? Whatever the case, drop your thoughts. But if you enjoyed the video, you found it at all insightful, do me a favor and drop a like on it. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single thing running all things XDefiant, Season 1, and even more FPS content. I'd love to have you in the community. But for now, thanks so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you later. Take care and peace.